Apollo 13 lifting off in 1970, destined to become one of NASA's worst nightmares.
This is the crew of Apollo 13.
When Commander Jim Lovell and his crew successfully wrestled their damaged spacecraft home again, the whole world was watching. Now it's watching again as Jim Lovell and NASA clash over whether aging astronauts have the right to sell artifacts that flew with them in space. Lovell put this checklist from Apollo 13 up for auction after rediscovering it hidden on a bookshelf in his home. It sold for over $300,000, 15 times its sale price. Now NASA's blocking transfer of the checklist to its new owners, saying it wasn't Lovell's to sell in the first place. Other astronauts have also been told they can't sell items from space that they were allowed to take home by NASA years ago. A meeting was set up between them and the space bosses to talk things through. When the astronauts met NASA here at the Space Agency's Washington, D.C. headquarters, the mood, according to those inside, was positive, but with an underlying realization that the issues involved were just too complex for them to get away with one meeting and a handshake at the end. The heart of the matter is that 40 years ago, NASA allowed its astronauts to take artifacts that flew with them in space home. Few questions asked, never dreaming that today they'd be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction.
Kind of wish that 40 years ago they had decided to write down these rules instead of just verbally agree, but everyone was focused on going to the moon.
Over the years, many astronauts have donated, bequeathed, and occasionally sold all sorts of items that rode with them into space.
The question now becomes, if this is not a legal transfer, if Jim Lovell didn't have the right to sell that checklist, then what does it mean for all the others that are already in private hands and in museums?
In the window of my lunar module, I had a little crosshair.
Space insiders say the last thing NASA wants to do is upset its best cheerleaders, the astronauts themselves. But the agency has its hands tied. It must play by today's rules and at the very least make an effort to keep space artifacts in public hands for history's sake. In many ways, it seems it's Houston, we've had a problem all over again. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, Washington.